if age is a barrier to pursue education. By education, I mean primary education, higher studies, professional studies, specializations, etc., which helps shape our future prospects. So before I further proceed, I would like to know, how many of you really think that age is a barrier to pursue education? Can I see some raising hands? Okay, there is one. Well, let me try to convince you and say, it is not. You see, our Indian education system is curated in such a manner that every program or course is age-based. For example, HSLC is 16 years, higher secondary is 19 to 18 years, college is 20 to 21 years, masters is 22 to 23 years, 24 years, and even PhD students think that they can complete their PhD by 30 years. But this is the normal trend that people follow. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to demotivate you and tell you that do not finish your education on time. You definitely should. But there are some people, we people who think that age is not a factor. And we have broken the stereotypical thought that it shouldn't be a barrier. Last year, a retired bank officer gave NEET and is pursuing his MBBS. Can you guess his age? He's 60 years old. He's 60 years old. For obvious reasons, he had aspirations to become a doctor, which he couldn't fulfill earlier. But since he has the opportunity now, he's availing it and he's pursuing his MBBS. My uncle, he's an economics professor in the DU, and one casual day, he was interviewing one of his PhD candidates. So I was just walking by, and out of curiosity, I asked him, who is this candidate of yours? He said, would you believe if I tell you that my PhD student is a senior pilot officer in the Indian Air Force who's 50 years old, and he's pursuing his PhD now. So do you really think that age is a barrier? I would also like to convey my personal story, which led me to choose this topic, because even I have broken the stereotypical thought, and I have passed out my high school at a very later stage. So my high school was not smooth. I had to face a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties, and due to some unfortunate events, I had to be very late. So what happened was, my school, it was affiliated to Cambridge. Suddenly, it just dropped that Cambridge was withdrawing the affiliation from our school because it found out some quality aspects. The infrastructure was not maintained, there were no proper faculties to provide the education, there were not efficient teachers. So Cambridge drew its affiliation. And we were left unbothered, and we didn't know what was the next step. We were panicked, we were shocked, because we were almost close to giving our mocks and finals. The school told us that you have to move out and you have to enroll yourselves privately and study for another 2 years because you have lost this chance. So we had no other option. We moved out, we enrolled ourselves privately to different private schools, and we had to pass out our 12th. So I did that, but I remember when I was enrolling myself privately to the school back in Kolkata, there was a principal. So I told her the story about what happened in my previous school. She said that, my child, age is not a barrier. Do not panic, do not worry. You will get your education, you will do it, and you will pass it through. I think she was the only person who had motivated me that night, because that phase wasn't pleasing at all. So this phase is very triggering, because you know that you are late. You cannot cope up because you're way too late, and you'll be disappointed because you'll see that other people are already passing out and they will be going to colleges, but you have this tension in your mind that it will trigger you that no, you are not going to college now. You are late. But let me tell you, it is not a huge deal. It is not a huge matter. I went through that phase alone, and I had all the negative comments and criticisms from everywhere. Because in a Bengali society, if you don't finish your education on time, People will tell you, provoke you and taunt you. People will pass out comments on you. So people was like, "Tui parbi na bhai, tor dara kichhu hobe na." Which means you're a failure. You cannot do it. You won't be able to do it. Just come out. You already failed. But no, I had this thing on my mind that I have to do it. I have to hustle through it because I'm struggling for it. It's my education. So I did it. But another factor came in. COVID came. So another year at loss. So I had lost almost 3 years of my academic life. COVID came in, but luckily they promoted us. The school promoted us, and we passed. And on 2021, I even sat for an exam to finish my pending papers, and I was finally out of that phase. And I also thank Royal to let me in and do my bachelor's in sociology now. Thank you so much, Royal. That's it. That's the part of my story. So I would also like to say that the national education policy now has implemented that there shouldn't be any age barrier to pursue education, because it is not a factor. I think so. Age is just a mere number, and I don't understand why people are so scared about it. You should not be. So what if you are late? So what you are lag behind? But at least you are doing it. At least, because at the end of the day, it is your education. You have to take care of it, you have to protect it, and you have to continue it, you have to finish it, end it. So it's your education, it's not others people, it is not other people's education. So now there are thousands of people who will get that opportunity to finish their undone courses and realize that they could have done other programs or other courses, and they can excel in it. Well, with that I say, according to me, age is definitely not a factor, and I hope I have conveyed this message to you, and I hope you realize that it is not a factor and it is not a barrier, and you should go for any course that you feel that you might be interested in. You can change it, you can do it, redo it anytime you want, because education can be pursued anywhere, anytime, and in any place. And even technology has made it possible through online and offline mode. So I think so there shouldn't be a problem now. So with that, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your precious time. I hope and I pray and I wish that you have a successful academic life ahead. Thank you.